kick it. Right? So on page 6, I need you to understand this part very, very well. When you're buying used vehicle, there's the private scenario. You pay PST only, which is 7%. But it's, write this down, on the greater of the purchase or the book value. You only pay it on one of them, okay? And it's the greater of the two. So let me give you a very, very simple example to make this stick, right? You don't have to write this part down, but I think if you just watch me do it, you will know what I'm talking about. So here it is. So let's say every car has a actual purchase price and the book value. AutoPack has a book value for every single car that exists. They have a value for it. Okay, so let's say you buy a Honda Civic. Okay, let's say you pay $9,000 for it. Like, it's on Kijiji, it's a private sale, $9,000. You go to AutoPack. Bless you. You go to AutoPack and it's they look it up. What's your model, make? Okay, $8,000 in their book. Which one of these two are you going to pay PST on? It's pretty easy. The $9,000. Okay, because this one is greater, you're gonna pay PST on the $9,000. Let's say you buy an F-150 truck. You buy it for $29,800. You go and insure it. AutoPack looks it up, and it's worth $35,000 in their book. Which one of these two are they gonna pick to charge you taxes on? It's the government, right? They want money, right? It's a crown corporation, right? So they're gonna charge you PST on the $35,000, not on this. Okay. Let's do one where we actually calculate the difference. Let's say this is a Pathfinder. After this, I move on, I promise. Let's say you get a steal on it. It's $20,000, right? You go and insure it, and they say, sir, it's actually in our books is worth $35,000. Let's go 36, so it's not the same as before, right? You paid this much for the car. You gave this to the owner, and then you go to AutoPack, and they're like, well, which one? Oh, this is what it's worth in our books. You're gonna have to pay taxes on this, sir, right? Or miss, right? So let's do the math here. 20,000 times 0.07. It would have been $1,400 taxes if you had, right, under these circumstances, but they're going to tax you on the higher one, which is, so they're going to say, no, we're going to charge you this much, which if you do the math here, it's almost $1,000 more, right? You're going to have to pay that. They go by the greater of the two. Okay, so that's what I mean. When I give you a private sale example, it has to give you a book value. It has to. Okay, because that's how it works. One question. Who gets the taxes? Who do you pay it to? You pay it to that owner of the vehicle you're buying it from? Don't give that money, it's gone. That person is gone, right? You give that to AutoPack. Like when you go and insure it, they're gonna be like, sir, you or miss, you owe us $25.20, right? On top of everything else. So you got to make sure you have that money set aside for to complete the purchase and to actually insure it. All right, let's keep going here. Let me just focus it one more time. Let's see if that works. There we go. So we did a question yesterday. Let me just go up one more time to the formulas. Let's say you have both of these formulas on your study sheet, which they should be. And you're like, okay, I give you a question and all it talks about is parts and labor. And you're like, well, what you do there is you remove everything else and just worry about parts and labor, which is taxed 12%, right? If this question doesn't have a trade-in, but it does, and it only talks about safety, then you remove everything else and just treat it, right? This formula is like a living formula, like it can be shorter or you can be using all of it. It depends on the scenario. So don't be so stuck on it has to have all the components in it. Okay, so let's, I give you the answers here. I'm going to erase them right now because I might use that space. I asked you to try this and I don't blame you if you got it wrong because it's not that easy. Okay, if you have a highlighter, you might want to grab it. So yesterday we did a used at a dealership. Now we're going to do a used private sale. So Joel finds an F-150 for $24,900. It's a private sale. So obviously it's used. The book value, that's very important to us. The book value of this particular car is this much. Joel pays $65 for a safety and $30 for a lien search. So look at that formula I gave you up there, the use private. I'm going to follow that to a T. Okay. Use private. It's asking for the purchase price, which is this one. This is your purchase price. That's what you agreed to pay for the car. So that goes first, plus now we're going to pay the PST for this car. Which one is greater? The 32,000 is greater. So I'm actually going to use a different color. Right? 32,000 times 0.07. Just remember, you're not paying 32 grand as well, folks. You're paying 24,900, and this calculation is going to give you the PST portion. It's basically the taxes for your car. Plus, we have a safety, so it's 65 times 1.05. Close the brackets. And we have a lien search. Mr. Dirksen, what about parts and labor? Not there. There are no parts and labor mentioned. So we're just going to add that lien, which is not taxed. Okay, so this is there. No tax. Okay. And let's don't do this in one shot. Okay. Now we're going to clean this up. 32,000 times 0.07, 2240. So you're paying the car. This is what you agreed for, and the PST plus $65 times 1.05 for the safety. So this is safety including taxes. That's just a safety inspection. And then we add $30 to that whole thing. Can I just, I'm also going to say this. This is the PST that you pay on that car. Okay, so now we add it all up. 24,900 plus 2240 plus 6825 plus 30 $27,238.25. There it is. This is using the formula above. Common mistake. Beautiful, everything is beautiful. Student checks one more time. Oh, it said after tax times 1.12, right? Don't do that. Okay, so you're double taxing. So this is including tax, right? After tax. So you've only paid 7%, 5% on the safety, right? And no taxes on the lien. Now, what if this question had asked, how much did Joel pay in taxes, like taxes only? Taxes only. I'm going to use the top here, watch. This is not taxes, right? But this calculation here is. So I'm basically taking part of the formula up top plus 65 times what? If I only want the taxes that I paid on it, instead of 1.05, it's 0.05 plus. Oh, there is no plus. Like there's nothing on the lien, so this is it, right? So this is the PST on car, and this is the GST on the safety. Those are the only taxes you've paid in this scenario. So we can cheat, right? This one we know is 2240. And this here, you can tell that it's $3.25 that was added. But if you don't, just type this up. Type this up on your calculator, you get 325. So total is 2243.25. That's his own. Okay. There are other ways of doing this, as long as you're accurate and meticulous as to how you do it. If you do some subtracting, it can also be done that way, but you have to be careful. This is my suggestion. I cannot cover all scenarios, but if this had a parts and labor piece to it, then you would have had a bracket here that is times 0.12, right? 0.12. So this is after tax, and this is just taxes. Okay, let's try the back side now, and I will give you a little bit of a tip there for the first question on page 8. So flip over to page 8 here. Tip, calculate parts and labor on the side, comma, before inserting into formula. That's what I would suggest you do. So basically, I want you to have a parts and labor on the side here and figure out, because there are a lot of parts and labor that are going to have to happen for this example, the first one here, example 2. So try to figure out Using one of those formulas that I provided you with, could you solve this question based on that? So I'll give you, at least, 5 to 10 minutes, and I would like you to try example 2 and example 3 based on what we've done so far. Make sure you try. If you get it wrong, use a pencil so you can erase if you need to. And the nice thing is the formula is right next door, right? So you can actually open your booklet and have the formula right there, so you don't need to rewrite it. And I'll be back in a bit. Off. There's a lot of parts and labor here, right? So 2 new lights at 60 each. I do it on the side here. 4 brakes, 4 times 150, right? A tune-up. So the tune-up, I'm just going to write here because it's just a full amount. And then there's labor, right? 2 hours at $65 per hour, right? So 2 times 6 is 12, so it's 120. This is 600. This is 130, right? When you add that up, you should get 1,040. Don't add taxes just yet, because then the reason why is you might double tax, right? You don't want to double tax here. Then I go back and do my formula. Use private. 9,500 is the price of the car. Plus, I want to figure out how much taxes I will pay on that car. There's a book value. Sorry. Book value, actual value. In this case, the book value is greater. Sometimes the book value is just there to throw you off. It never shows up. Because if the book value had been, right, it always has to happen when I just start teaching, right? If the book value had been 7,000, let's say, right, it's lower than the actual, so then you would have had to put 9,500 in here. So it depends on the scenario. Okay, I'll try to hurry here. 65 times 1.05. No, sorry. Snowblower's fault. 40 for the safety. They mean well. Anyways. So this should be your setup. Okay. 9,500 plus 700 plus 42 plus 1164.80. And now home run, you do your dollar sign. 11,406.80. Hold on, I'm going to read carefully. I'm a student now, okay? After tax, oh yeah, just to make sure we tax. No, don't do that. This is already after tax. There's a typo here. Total taxes paid in A. My bad. In A. Let's do this together. Let's see if we can put this puzzle together. Taxes. Don't do the 9,500 because that's the car. It's this part, the 10,000 times 0.07 plus 40 times 0.05. You get that part? You can't be asleep with a snowblower. So that they make sure you don't fall asleep in my cabin. Right? So this turns into 0 because you just want the taxes. You don't want the safety as well. Plus, you take the parts and labor. You're going to multiply that by 0.12. 0.12. And voila, now you have everything you need. 700 plus $2 plus 124.80. That's 826.80. I saw a lot of these numbers kicking around there. So way to go. Now do example 3. And if you're done 3, you can start the assignment already. You can keep working on the assignment if you want.